Okay, let's go live. This is James Maduke speaking. Welcome, course creators, how-to content creators, anyone who's playing around with ChatGPT. Maybe you're over 40, side hustle, got a whole bunch of experience, and you're figuring out how can I use ChatGPT and all these AI tools to create my online courses and online material. So again, my name is James Maduke. It's trainingsites.io is the site, the business that we run. And we're all about creating training sites and showing people how to teach online, use AI tools. If you've got some miles on you and you've got some experience, you want to help people and create how-to content, online courses, that's what we're here to help. So, creating an online course is kind of like you're at a crossroads, right? You've got all this experience and you're trying to figure out, I have all these choices on how I should do, where I should put together, how I should sell it. It's just a lot of choices that are available to you, and especially when it comes to creating your online content. If if you're a little bit older and you already have some educational experience, all of this was done on the fly by yourself. You went to teachers college, you went to school to learn how to present something, but you did the research. You put everything together, you curated everything and figured it all out yourself. But now we've got tools like ChatGPT that make this all a lot easier, but often it's hard to get started, not for two reasons. One is you may not know exactly what it can give you or do for you. And more importantly, you may or may not know how to use ChatGPT to do some of the tasks that you're going. So you're certainly at a crossroads, and if you make the wrong choice, what happens is either it takes you a lot of time, or the course or the content you create is a bumpy road off in the bush somewhere that you didn't want to be. For the content that you're creating, more importantly, the students are going, what the heck is this about? So you're at a crossroad here, and what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do this video. It's going to be about giving you some directions or ways to go with how you use ChatGPT and the prompts that you create to get the responses that you know or maybe don't know. So that's what we're going to be doing today, and hopefully that's going to be able to help you out. So you're here, you got this idea for a course, you're trying to figure out what to say, kind of what's next. And we're going to go back just for a second, and what I want to do is I want to cover something that I covered in an early video. And just remember, any of the links that I talk about today will be in the comments below. And more importantly, I'll put a link to trainingsites.io where you can actually get access to all of the resources and a bunch of courses that we've done on training sites, online courses, and recently, I think I've got maybe 200 videos on AI prompting and using AI tools and services for creating online courses. So that's available for you there. Now, one of the principles that I talked about before were different styles of prompts, and I'll just show you those now so that you can kind of get a handle on them. And there was 4 different styles that I identified. Again, this isn't a specific prompt, it's a style of prompting. So the first one was conversational prompts, and the definition that we came up with is mimic natural dialogue. So think of it as a virtual assistant, someone who can help you out, and it's a back and forth of ideas. It's like talking or chatting to someone. So that was a conversational prompt. The other one was I introduced was this idea of a kind of a role-based prompt. So that's the one you hear most frequently when people talk about a prompting framework. And that's where you give ChatGPT an action, a context, and the response that you want. So you know exactly what you want from ChatGPT, you give it some context, and then it gives you a response. That's the role-based prompting one, because often it's when you're doing the context, you're saying, I'm an expert in, or I do this, or I'm trying to do that because I have this experience, or I'm in this situation. So that was role-based prompt. And again, these are top-level views. The video that we did, or that I did, actually goes through these in detail. And again, I'll put the link to this content after. The next one was a mega prompt, and a mega prompt is like the kitchen prompt, kitchen sink prompt. It's like, you know exactly what you want, you have it all laid out, all of the different pieces that you want to have in a response, and it's one big long prompt that you can give ChatGPT, and you know that if you get it, you're going to get a big answer that's it back. And the other one is called a chain of thought prompts, or a chained prompt. And what that is it's kind of like a mega prompt, but it's just one piece at a time. And you're going to do that over a bit of a long conversation where you're going back and forth with ChatGPT, but you know the sequence that you need to follow to get the response that you want. So we've got those 4 kinds of prompts or styles of prompts, but where does this fit in to creating an online course or creating how-to information? Well, let's take a look how this can actually fit. And I'll bring my video pencil out today, and hopefully it will work for you, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to use a quadrant just to give you some kind of idea. See if we can put that in. Pardon me if I put my head down, you get shiny stuff on my forehead from the lights here in my studio. But let's kind of put this together, and I'll go back and forth with my notes sometimes just so that we kind of understand where it is. So if I was looking at this and I'm thinking about how this kind of fits in, think of it this way: is, let's say on the left axis here, and I've got a right axis here. So let's say, for example, if I'm looking at this, the thing that I'm going to think about is, if I know the prompt, so I know what prompt, I know exactly what prompt I want to give it. That's up at the top of that one. And if I look at the bottom here, I have no idea what the prompt is. I'm just completely lost. I've never done it before. I'm just starting out and I'm really confused, or I saw something, I'm supposed to try it, but I don't know why it works or where it should work or how to apply it. So those are kind of on the vertical axis. On the horizontal one, it's like you don't know what response you want. You have no idea what it is that you want ChatGPT to give you. Or you might look at it and you say, you know, you have an exact response. So you've got the exact response here. You know with the prompt there. The bottom is you have no idea of the prompt and no idea of the output. So where does all of this fit in? So remember I gave you those 4 kind of prompts that are there. So let's say, for example, I'm here and I know exactly what it is that I want ChatGPT to give me, and I know exactly what I need to tell it to actually do that. That's where the whole idea of a mega prompt comes in. So that's the mega prompt. I have one prompt, I know what to give it, I know what I'm going to get back. So that's kind of the first area for mega prompts. The next one you're probably going is you're going, okay, I kind of know the prompt, and actually let's do this one. We'll do the opposite one here. We'll work on this one here. It's like, okay, I don't know what to say. I have no idea what to say, and I don't know what is that I want back. That one we're going to hear right here. This is the conversation, right? I'm just going to put convo. You're going to put a conversation here. Actually, let's see if I can get conversation as word here. So we have a conversation. That's the one where you're talking back and forth with ChatGPT, just like you would chat with a friend, with someone else, a colleague, anyone that you're talking with, a student, anyone you're talking with. That's when you're having that natural conversation back and forth. Well, if you don't know the response that you want, and then more importantly, you're trying to figure out what prompt to, you know what prompt to give, one of the ones you might want to try is, let me see if I can make sure we get our page done up here. See if I can get my pen up. There we go. So the other one you want to look at is, oh, there we go. It's back. I'm back. I'm back with my video pencil that's intermittent. I think what I'm going to have to do is next time I'm going to physically connect my iPad with the pen on it to the computer that's doing the stream, because it seems sometimes it's getting disconnected and I got to log back in. The screensaver comes on, and then hopefully the actual content that I was scribbling comes down. So let's do the next one. Let's say, for example, you have some ideas on the prompting already, and you've not entirely sure on the response that you want to give. That's one where you're going to go and you're going to use the role-based one. So it's like you're telling ChatGPT, you know kind of what it wants, and you want it to act like something. But in this particular, you're not entirely sure. So for example, what would an expert of this do? Or how would a rocket scientist approach building a rocket? So you're giving a role to ChatGPT. You don't know the necessarily piece that you need or the response that you need, but you want someone else's point of view that's there. And then finally, the other one that you're going to look at the bottom is the chain or chained prompts. And again, these ones are similar to mega prompts, but it's like a series in a logical order of prompts that you're going to give, because in that particular one, you're not necessarily sure of a mega prompt. You have lower expectations of what to prompt, but more importantly, you know what you want in terms of the responses, and you're trying to dig down to get to it. So that's kind of the format of where we're at, right? We've got those, I know my prompt, I know my response that I want, I have no idea what my prompt is, I have no idea what the response is that I want. And when you're creating an online course or you're creating how-to material, you may find yourself in that position, right? You may be in a situation where you need to create a course or something that's supplementary. You need to teach something, you want to add something, any kind of how-to material. You're going, okay, I know what I want. I've found this prompt before. I know exactly how I want it outputted. I know what the response is. Here's my prompt. It's there. Okay. On the other hand, you may be in the other boat, just starting out. Any of those particular areas, you're going to be kind of looking and figuring out where or which way do I go. And this is where this whole idea of directional prompting comes in. So what I'm talking about in directional prompting is those prompts generally are in a crossroads or two different variations. And these are the ones that I think that you do as course creators, and the ones that I've done at Course Creators. And this kind of thing that I'm going to show you a little graph here after in a second. These directions of the types of prompts apply really well when you're creating your online course content or how-to content. And the ones is if you're starting the course development, you're going to prompt in one direction. If you know the course content that you want and you need help developing it and creating that finished content where you can copy the content or use the content that ChatGPT gives you to create your course content, then you're going to use the opposite direction. So there's two directions that you need to look at, and I'll put them here on the board. Let's see if we can get it working again. And let's think of it this way. So I'm going to start creating my course. I want to go this way. And what I want to do is I want to use conversational as the first one, as I try and figure out what I should say, and I have no idea of the response or the one that I'm supposed to give. So there's the first one. The second one is you're maybe going to use some role-based ones to fine-tune or figure out a little bit more of what you want to include. What should I include? What are some ideas from someone else? Role-based. The next one you're going to go is you might have some mega prompts that you come up with, where you've put together a prompt you've used before, or you've got an idea of the prompt, and then you may want to clean it up or expand and refine on it with those chained prompts. Okay, so conversational, structured, unstructured, very structured. That's one direction of prompting, and it's for when you're developing stuff, you're putting the course together, you're trying to figure out what should be in it, what should be covered. Those are the styles of prompts to use as you work through it. On the other hand, what you might want to do, if you already know or you have a series of prompts, let me just make this a little cleaner here. On the other hand, let's try this, we'll go. On the other hand, you're going to be there and you want your finished content, right? So what you want is the content created, and you want it to be exactly what you can use or adjust in your style to be authentic, which we've covered in some other videos on how to do that, but you want the end content. So what you're going to do with that particular one is you're going to start with that one. It's going to be starting with the chain of prompts. Okay? Chain of prompts ones, because you have a structure. You know exactly the questions and the styles that you want for course lessons, for example. Create an online course description for me. Make sure, you know, for example, create the actual learning objectives for the course. You have a structure of pieces that you know that you've kind of put together, and you know, this is how I want my course content to be. This is how I want the lesson structured. These are the pieces that I want to the lessons. And what you want to do is you got a chain of prompts so that you've used in the past or organized beforehand, so you can just go and do that. And this is what I do all the time. I create a big outline of the course from a mega prompt and some lessons. And then what I'll do from there is I'll do a chain of thought and get all of the content I want for lesson number 1. And then easily after that, I can do the same for lesson number 2. Do the same for lesson number 3. So if I get a chain of prompts and a response that I want, then I can repeat it, and I know that I'm going to get the same structure and kind of content in the lessons, and they're going to be consistent amongst all of them. So the second one, again, we're going to use the mega prompt. Let's see if I can get that one to work. And let's go delete that. This video pencil I quite like. It's kind of neat. Actually, I'll put the link to it below. It's a little piece of software that runs on, I don't know if it's Ecamm. It runs as a virtual camera, and I can use it on my iPad to scribble. One of the things for me, the challenges is my penmanship is awful, and I'm still a little glitchy using it. So pardon my poor penmanship. I just want you to get the idea of which way these directions or kind of posts go. So let me use this one. I'll get it down. Create this. Let's get our eraser going. And for example, on this one, I'm putting it a little bit lower because there's something on my screen that's blocking it when I try and write it. So this one, we're going to use the mega prompt. Number 3, we're going to be using the role-based. And number 4, we're going to use the conversational one. Okay, so these directions or the styles of prompts that you're using are all based on whether you're starting in beginning of the course or if you know exactly the content that you're trying to create your finalized content. So the whole idea here is that when you're playing around with this, kind of the key takeaways on this is, and actually let me show you this as well, just so that you can see this in a picture. And again, I'll include these below so that you can have it, but this is kind of what I came up with. So you're starting the course, it's conversational, role-based, mega prompt, chain of prompts. And then on the other hand, when you're finishing the content, you want the actual content that you can use in the course materials. There's the chain of prompt, mega prompt, role-based, and conversational. So it just reverses. And if you don't know about these prompts, again, there's some other videos. I did put a link to it below. You'll be able to use them, but just don't get hung up. Just understand that you may know exactly what you're using for prompts because you've used them before, and you may not know what response that you want, and the different prompt styles are the ones that we'll use, or you'll find you're using to get the content that you want. So I've got those different prompt styles there, and you know, it's just really something that I think you can do that might help you. It helps me all the time to make sure that not only am I comfortable creating course content that is valuable, but at a crossroads, I'm not kind of off trying some other prompt or some other thing to get some other result. It just saves a lot of time, and it makes sure that your courses are consistent. Because I think for the last thing you want to do, I can see gradual improvement with courses, but not necessarily do you want to go and you know, kind of make everything completely different to do it. So here's kind of the 4 takeaways from this. The first one is you want to have like a prompt compass. that you know wherever you are in the course creation or the how-to content creation, you have a compass with you now and you know, where am I? Which style of prompt should I use? And which direction am I going with my prompting? So that matrix, think of that quadrant, how it fits out and works. And the thing is that you at least try this for yourself and see what happens. Is I find that I understand now that I have to change the style of prompt, the way that I structure the prompts based on where I am in the process. So it's not just you use this framework and it works for everything. I don't think it works that way. You kind of have to use a different style of prompts for where you are in those crossroads. So just make sure that, style switching you're comfortable with. It's something that you can do. It allows you to refine your prompts too if you use those ones. And I think you get much better content because instead of going, I have one framework, I have to use this framework for every part of my course creation. There's no ability, if you have that one structure, to kind of evaluate and expand not only your point of view, but also do iterations of the kind of content that you're generating by using a different style prompt in a different part of the course creation. So don't be afraid to iterate and take all sorts of examples, keep them organized as well as you can, obviously, but you'll find that there's some kind of styles or ways that you word things in those different prompt styles, and you'll be able to repeat on them and improve on them and be able to have 4 areas of improvement as opposed to just one. And of course, the other thing is when you look at 4 prompt styles are always going to be better than one prompt style. And at the end of the day, it's about your responses, right? You want to make sure, at least I do, I want to make sure that if I am going to use ChatGPT and any of these AI tools like Gemini or Claude, they all give us output, but we have to put our own voice and our own style into it. And using multiple styles or approaches of prompting is something that allows us, I think, to be a lot more authentic in terms of the output that we're creating. Okay, so this is kind of where we're at. This is just the tip of the iceberg, of course. When we're playing around with this, I found these very helpful for what I'm doing when I'm creating courses. And, some of you might be thinking, oh, great, this is too confusing for me still, or I still need a little bit of help. Or can you help me when I create my first course or any of the kind of materials with prompting, that kind of thing? Well, what I've done is, if you look below, you'll see there's a link there to trainingsites.io/AI course. You can book a 30-minute session with me. And in fact, that particular page is about a program we have for creating online courses with you. So if you want to see how all these prompts work, it's a one-on-one coaching package / to-do package done with you. At the end, you're going to have your own course to market. And we'll be using all of these prompt styles while we create it. So I have that there as well. So make sure to go check that out. Again, the link's below. And then the other thing is if you just go to the homepage at trainingsites.io, you can book 30 minutes with me free just to chat about AI and creating courses and how-to materials, building a training site and education business. And this is especially important for people who I think are over 40. They're just got a wealth of knowledge. They want to share it. They have answers to and experience to share with other people. That's who I'm here to help. So like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be here as always every day. I think today's Friday. flies by, man. Today's Friday, so I try and do 1 to 2 videos a day. I do them live all the time. These are totally ad hoc ones. Obviously, I go with a little bit of some pointers. I'll probably do a video on that too, just to show people how I create a video a day. In general, I use ChatGPT and Claude, some other tools, but it takes me, if I do a half-hour video as an example today, how many minutes am I at today? Let me just see. Not entirely sure on minutes on this one, but as we go here, I've probably got, it takes me maybe an hour and 15 minutes, so 45 minutes of prep to get it together, and then I do 30 minutes live, and in fact, what I get now is a live edited session that I can use creating courses or creating shorts or marketing material. And again, this is one of the things that we do that I can teach you how to do. So My name is James, trainingsites.io. Like and subscribe to the channel. Love to see you. And stay tuned because we got a lot of videos about this stuff. It's changing all the time. And frankly, I have fun creating them. If you have a topic, put them in the comments below and I'll do those for you as well. So have a great weekend. Take care and expect the best.